Hello YouTube, I'm back again. This time not with a figure review, it's actually a figure cleaning tip. So if, like me, you're actually currently collecting all of the figures in their boxes, I had them all boxed when I was younger, and I took them out of the box to do these animations. And so I've started collecting them again, and let me tell you, they are so cheap in Japan. I cannot believe it. When I find these things, they are so cheap that I just have to pick them up. I'd be a fool not to. The only problem with... I've never seen this before in any other country I've bought Crash Bandicoot figures from, but in Japan, the cases seem to, mottle up, and they turn all brown and sticky. Now, I thought this was tobacco. It's actually happened on all of the figures that I've bought. I thought it was tobacco or something, I thought it was nicotine, sorry, is what I meant to say. But I'm not sure it is. It might have something to do with humidity. Anyway, sometimes when you get boxed figures like this, they get a bit dusty and they get a little bit dirty. So the fix that I found is these. Excuse this, I was so excited to clean my figures, I ripped the bag open. So you can see this is to clean off sticky, unpleasant tobacco stains or nicotine stains. And so I thought that that's what it was, so I used it and it cleaned up pretty well. Now, I do recommend getting these because they're made for plastic consoles in cars, and they do leave quite a nice finish. You will have to go over them again with a piece of kitchen roll or a microfiber cloth just to get rid of some streaks. But it does work really well, so I'm going to give you a demonstration of that. So I'll simply take one sheet of this, and I kind of wrap it around my finger like this so I can get a good grip. And then I start going around in circles like this. Look how much this has cleaned off already. I hope that's really visible. Look at that. I hope that's easily readable to the camera right here. It's already started to clean Tiny off. As you can see, look at that. You can see the colour of his fur. Let me do one around here to give you a better look. There you go. And that's what's coming off. So what we have to do, just go over this a few times and get all that disgustingness off of Tiny. The good thing about this is it dries really quickly, so you don't have to worry about it kind of water damaging the figure. And you can see the filth that's coming off. I don't know how Japanese figure collectors store their figures, but this is not a good way to do it if they end up with a thick plastering of this stuff. Disgusting. This may take multiple passes to get him looking clean again. But yeah, this stuff is really coming off. Disgusting. So this is essentially our first pass. And you can see that we can already see Tiny much better than we did, although he still has that kind of mottling under there. I'm really hoping that's just on the surface and not underneath, but it really is difficult to tell. We just work on one area. Oh no, yes, I've taken that off. Okay, so that mottling is just on the surface. Thank God. It just takes a lot of elbow grease to get it off. So hopefully you can see in this area here, there's now no mottling, other than obviously the kind of liquid that I just put on there. But would you look at this? So this is going to take a while, and it's going to remove a lot of dirt. Hopefully your collections aren't as dirty as this one is here. Your collections probably have a little bit of dust on it. But at the same time, it's always good to try and clean them. Even if they don't look dirty, you might be surprised, when you clean the window, how much actually comes off. And you may be surprised, your figure might have even turned a different colour. You may not be seeing all the details you used to be able to see. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for a while, finish up this figure, and I will show it to you in just a moment. I forgot to mention that this does actually work on the card as well if you need to clean that. You just have to be a lot more careful and do it more gently than you would if you were cleaning the bubble. Now I'm using these sheets because they dry very quickly and they are actually made for this kind of work. They're made to remove sticky or oily stains. I wouldn't recommend using water because you could water damage your figure and the box, and that would be terrible. So try and look for something similar in your country, or I've also heard that lighter fluid and hand sanitizer can work, but do that with caution and maybe test it in an area before you do the whole thing. Okay, so here is Tiny Tiger. I've got him mostly cleaned now. I just need to maybe polish up this window a little bit. But as you can see, he is very, very clear now, and you can actually see through to his box, whereas before he looked yellow. Let me show you Coco, who I still have yet to clean, and you can see the colour difference here. And you can also see the filth on Coco compared to Tiny here. Very, very disgusting. It took me almost an hour to clean this whole figure, and yeah, it's pretty disgusting, the stuff that came off. But thank God it's not on there anymore. There's about 5 sheets that I've used there, and I will be cleaning up Coco and Jetpack Crash as well, but I'm so tired from cleaning Tiny that I think I'll leave them for another day. Another thing I'd like to mention about boxed figures is that, as you can see up here with Tiny, you can see around his nose, there are some scratches on the inside of the plastic, and also by his shoes down here on the bottom side of the plastic, you can see there. The most noticeable one is this high-flying Crash. You can see his nose has been smudged in here. There's also a little bit of damage there, and the actual tip of his nose is a little bit worn. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody who bought this figure damaged it. The truth is, and I'm sure everybody knows this by now with ReSaurus figures and how many videos I've done on them and how many videos other people have done on them, is that they were very fragile and the paintwork wasn't the best on them. The paint always chips off constantly. If you put an accessory, well, actually I have an entropy I can show you. So this loose entropy figure was literally made to hold this tuning fork, but as you can see on the tuning fork, it has so many black marks, and if you look at his fingers, it's all peeling off there. So these figures were just unfortunately made very cheaply, which is a real shame because the sculpts on these figures are absolutely beautiful. So if you do find a boxed figure and it has a bunch of paint chips, just see it as part of the figure. See it as part, this is just how they are. This is just how they're going to look. You can get boxes that are beautiful. I would actually say this one is quite bad. But this often happens on the Crash figures because their noses are literally pressed right up against the plastic here. You can see his nose is actually bending the plastic out. But we don't know when this was done. This could have been done in the factory when they were putting Crash in the box because, well, it's quite high and Crash doesn't actually move. He's tied in there. So this was probably done when they were putting him in into the box, and just like any other defective figure, it's just a part of collecting, and it's just part of the fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll do a before and after with Coco and Crash when I clean those so that you can see a kind of a swipe. And yeah, make sure you clean your figures and keep them safe.